Just because you got prayed for and didn't speak in tongues when you wanted the baptism of the Holy Ghost doesn't mean you didn't get it. You could have gotten it and you just didn't know it. And here's what I'm going to tell you, and I think this will help a lot of people. These signs shall follow them that believe. They shall speak in other tongues. And then they name some other things. Okay, here's some stories. One man who got prayed for the baptism of the Holy Ghost, he didn't seem to get it. But the next day he was going down to the fish market to buy some catfish and buffalo to fry. And while he was driving, he stopped on the side of the road because he couldn't drive anymore, and he got out and started speaking in other tongues. Wow, on the way to the fish market. Another lady that did seem to be like a dartboard and didn't seem to hit a nerve. The next morning she got up to fix breakfast for her family, and she reached for the refrigerator door and started speaking in other tongues. And she spoke in tongues for a week, couldn't hardly not speak in tongues. Then there was this lady who went up to the altar, and you would think, just the sweetest little thing, she got the baptism of the Holy Ghost and started singing in the Spirit. First time I'd ever heard that. So you never know how God's going to manifest that. And then my wife, she's a sweet little Baptist girl, loved Jesus, went up to the altar, knelt down, got prayed for to get the baptism of the Holy Ghost, got slain in the Spirit, speaking in other tongues. Sweetest thing. And then there was me. Oh, the hard things. I got and received the baptism of the Holy Ghost sitting on a pool table when the power of God hit me and knocked me off and filled me with a baptism of fire and speaking in other tongues. Let me tell you something. You can't find a place where God is not at. And there's no such thing as being irreverent. One man got the Holy Ghost and he had his hat on, of all things. And so somebody said, well, don't you think that's a little irreverent? Hey, he couldn't tell you when God was going to fall on him and get the baptism of the Holy Ghost. It wasn't irreverent. God will take you just like you are, fill you with His Spirit. You'll speak in other tongues. It's the most powerful thing you can enjoy. When I wake up in the morning, I speak in tongues. I drive down the road speaking in tongues. In my prayer language, I speak in tongues. When I go somewhere to go pray for somebody, I speak in other tongues. I build myself up in the most holy faith. You can do the same thing. Just stir up the Spirit of God that is within you. The Bible, Paul said, by the laying on of our hands. Well, even if nobody laid hands on you, nobody laid hands on me. And I got the baptism of the Holy Ghost. And there's other people also that never had hands laid on them, and they just freely received the baptism of the Holy Ghost. This one guy I met, he didn't even know the name Jesus, never heard of it. I said, "You never heard of Jesus?" "No." "You never been to church?" "No." "Really? Right here in the United States, in West Monroe, Louisiana, believe it or not." And I said, "You've lost everything. You lost your wife, your kids, your home, your work, your money, and everything." "Yeah, I've lost everything. It looks like I'm going to lose my health." I said, "You need somebody to rescue you." He said, "Yeah, I do." He was sitting on a fireplace hearth. I said, "Would you like to receive Jesus to be saved?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, say this prayer." I didn't touch him or anything. And I said, "Just ask Jesus to come in your heart." He said, "Oh, Jesus, come in my heart and give me everything you've got." Bam! He got saved, filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in other tongues. I never even talked to him about speaking in tongues. Okay, so you'll know God will meet you anywhere. These signs shall follow them that believe. God bless you guys, and go in peace. Love you. Bye.